Welcome to TV20 News. We are Cleveland. I'm Leah Haslage. The city of Cleveland was able to take some guns off the streets and put gift cards in people's pockets at the annual gun buyback. Nearly 100 gun and rifle owners drove up to the 3rd District Police Station on Chester Avenue to drop off their firearms for the 11th annual gun buyback. People who handed over their firearms received $100 gift cards for handguns and $200 for semi-automatic weapons. The gift cards were given out to Shell Gas, Dave's Supermarkets, and Target. Police took 98 guns off the streets, and then the weapons will be melted at ArcelorMittal on a later date. The annual buyback event helps to take unwanted guns off the streets of Cleveland, plus it helps to save lives.
Well, the gun buyback's important because the aim is to take guns from people who don't want them. So a lot of times you'll have instances where people inherit guns maybe from a relative passing on or something like that, or they've purchased guns in the past and they just don't want them in their house anymore. So when they have something that they don't want, a lot of times they're not stored properly, as in being like locked up. So there's times when kids can come into contact with guns that aren't stored properly. We do have injuries that occur because of that, and not only that, these guns can be taken in home burglaries, and then they end up as stolen weapons on our streets.
Sponsors of the buyback were the Cleveland Police, the Cleveland Police Foundation, ArcelorMittal, and Dave's Supermarkets. The International Association of Correctional Training Personnel held their annual Trainers Conference at the Crowne Plaza, Cleveland. It was the first time the event was held here in our city.
Our organization is the only one of its kind that exists solely to provide training and information for those that are doing that kind of work in the field of corrections, be it jails, prisons, or community corrections across this country.
Mayor Jackson spoke about his appreciation of those in attendance.
We recognize the challenges that you have, and we also recognize that you are the ones who make it possible for us to be successful in whatever we do post the correctional experience of people who go to jail.
The 56th graduation ceremony of the Greater Cleveland Drug Court was recently held at South Point Hospital in Cleveland. The program, overseen by Judge Lauren C. Moore of the Cleveland Municipal Courts, gave those with drug and alcohol offenses a chance to become clean and sober and to have their records expunged. Graduate Crystal Jackson lost everything when she was found unconscious in her car after overdosing on heroin. Crystal says that, though the program was at times tough, it changed her life for the better.
They hold you accountable for what you do, and believe it or not, you have trust issues and you learn how to trust them. But it comes through. They're there. I remember calling my caseworker all the time, and she was there. They're there.
So you're sober how many months now?
October 5th, my birthday, made 1 year that I've been heroin-free.
The keynote address was delivered by Philip Cole Jr. of Moore Counseling and Mediation Services. Cole has seen firsthand the devastating effects of the opioid epidemic and how it tears families apart.
You've all learned some tools. You've learned a lot of things of how to live life now. And you're going to keep learning. We're always going to be here to make sure that your success is always in the forefront of our minds. But with that being said, I want to congratulate you, but I want to leave this one statement with you. I see you in your future, and you look much better than you look right now. Congratulations.
This will be the last drug court for Municipal Court Administrative and Presiding Judge Ronald B. Adrian, who will soon be retiring, and he says he's happy with the success of this program.
I've seen it blossom over the years. I've seen all of the people who've gone through this court have risen to the occasion and have been able to seize the day and retake their lives and to do what they needed to do in order to make sure that they did their family proud, that they did the community proud.
For a week each fall, different government agencies come together to address the dangers of lead poisoning in our city. To kick off National Lead Poisoning Prevention Week, there was a panel discussion in the rotunda at Cleveland City Hall. Lead paint has been banned in the United States since the 1970s, but lead exposure and poisoning are still a big problem here in Cleveland and across the nation, especially in older homes and apartments. Exposure to lead can cause life-threatening health problems and even death. This year's National Lead Poisoning Prevention Week was from October 22nd to the 28th and was sponsored by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, Office of Lead Hazard Control and Healthy Homes, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Lead poisoning is largely preventable, and with increased education, children's lives across the country can be saved. Organizers say their goal is to raise awareness about the dangers of lead exposure.
Lead is a critical issue and impacts children under the age of 6 significantly. It can have long-lasting neurological impacts on children. It can impact their ability to learn and even their physical body. And so we are very concerned to make sure that we are really educating the public and talking about preventive issues and measures that they can take.
If you would like to ask a question, provide feedback, or report a lead problem, call 216-263-LEAD. To help kick off Lead Poisoning Week, the City of Cleveland held an informative program in the rotunda of Cleveland City Hall. The event was used to spread awareness of lead poisoning and new programs being implemented to diagnose and treat children at an early age.
This fall, we just signed another agreement with the state of Ohio to be a delegated authority, so our work continues to investigate all the properties in the city of Cleveland associated with a child who has an elevated blood lead level of 10 micrograms per deciliter or higher. But we know that that's on the opposite side of it. We are really working on the proactive side of it and anxious to continue to work with our partners so that we can identify and prevent lead poisoning before it happens.
Marilyn Lotus is an associate professor at Case Western Reserve University School of Nursing, and she says the number of children who haven't been tested for lead is staggering.
The estimate is that 65% of the children in Cleveland are not tested. We know that many children who are tested aren't treated. And we know that kids who have high lead levels that are untreated have major complications throughout their life. And we need to get to these kids and get them treated, tested, treated, and ready to have a more successful life.
Lotus says symptoms of lead poisoning varies, making it difficult to diagnose without a blood test.
Some children have been misdiagnosed with autism when it's actually elevated lead levels. They may be irritable, they don't concentrate as well, they may act out more, and again, they do less well in school. Their IQ levels drop and their school performance is down.
Brian Kimball is the Commissioner of Environment for the Cleveland Department of Public Health, and he says that the age of the city and the houses in the neighborhood are a major factor for lead poisoning.
It's a big issue because this is an older city with older homes built before 1978. We can assume to have some type of lead-based paint in it. And if they're not maintained well, and we know that we have a number of properties in the city of Cleveland that are rental properties and are not maintained well, then that causes the exposure or creates the exposure to children of lead exposure to children younger than 6 years of age.
For more information on lead poisoning, visit the Cleveland Department of Public Health's website at clevelandhealth.org. The Council of Great City Schools recently came to Cleveland to hold their 61st annual Fall Conference. The conference, which hosted 1,000 big city school superintendents, board members, administrators, and college deans, was held at the Hilton Cleveland downtown. Cleveland Metropolitan School District CEO Eric Gordon was excited the city was hosting such a big event.
Cleveland is really excited to be the host city this year. It's been more than 40 years since the conference has been here in Cleveland. So our team has been excited to show our schools, our student artists, to show the kind of work we're doing here with the Cleveland Education Reform and the Cleveland Plan. And we've had a large number of guests that really have enjoyed both our cities and our school district.
The theme of this year's conference is Advancing the State of Urban Education. Mayor Frank Jackson told the large crowd that, though there have been improvements, Cleveland schools are still a work in progress.
Education is the key to our success. And when we had the opportunity and we were able to form the Cleveland Plan that gives us the basis for the reform of our system, we have made significant progress, but we are still a failing system. And we're still a failing system. And this is not any condemnation on anyone, because the condition of urban education has been a condition and a concern for decades. But we're working on it.
Many guest speakers appeared at the conference, including Hollywood actress Rosario Dawson, who praised the never-ending work of the teachers.
And I just want to say, I think it's so remarkable how much time and energy people spend on trying to figure out what the influences are of their children, and how little research they do into the teachers that actually spend most of their time with your child. I'm grateful that my mom put that time in, and I'm so grateful that all of you do.
For more information on the Council of Great City Schools, visit their website, cgcs.org. There's a new citywide bike tour that is a collaboration between the Cleveland Police Foundation, Cleveland Division of Police, CMSD, Bike Cleveland, and more, that aims to keep kids safe on their way to school. It's called the Ride to Achieve Challenge program. TV20 was at the kickoff event at Louis Gassi Elementary School.
And this is about safety, it's about the relationship between children and the police, and also about academic achievement. And it's a partnership between Cleveland Police Foundation and our school district. We've kind of tailored it to this Safe Route to School initiative that we have, but there's always been some activity between the police and kids and bike riding.
Director of City Planning, Fred Collier, spoke about the Safe Routes to Schools.
The Safe Routes to School initiative is one example of what we're doing from the City of Cleveland and the CMSD perspective to ensure that our kids get to and from school safely. We're working very hard to eliminate the threats that kids face when they go to and from school, such as abandoned properties and other types of activities that could actually hinder their ability not just to get to school, but to perform when they get to school.
These kids are our future leaders. You know, one of the things we try to instill in them is to be service-minded individuals, and we have an awesome group of kids, and that's why we see them out here today.
Commander Johnson then gave bikes to some deserving and very excited students. It's not just a relationship between the police and the kids that's important, but with everyone in the community.
When we talk about improving the attendance rate, so CMSD has a 93% goal. Well, our kids have to feel safe in order to arrive to school, in order to improve that attendance. And it's important that all of us in the community come together to help make that happen. I mean, we are their champions.
The Ride to Achieve program is going on now through March. Learn more on how your child can earn a bicycle for their scholastic achievement and additional programs offered to encourage and educate your child at clevelandfoundation.org. After years of planning, the Bel Air area finally receives a brand new discount store for their neighborhood.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There was a ribbon cutting for the grand opening of the new Dollar Tree store in the Bel Air community. Mayor Frank Jackson and Councilwoman Donna Brady, plus people from the community, gathered for the launch of the new store on Bel Air. The new store took 10 years of planning, as the site was a nursing home and old abandoned gas station. The underground gas tanks had to be excavated in order to build the new store and parking lot. Since the area was considered contaminated, Mayor Jackson stepped in to provide funding for the cleanup. Organizers say the new dollar store is vital to the neighborhood because it will provide discount goods for people who need it.
Oh, it's very important because right now a lot of the people in the community cannot get far without taking public transportation. And this store is going to, everything here is $1. This is a Dollar Tree. Everything is $1, and 15% of the store is going to be food. So people will be able to come here and they will be able to buy, frozen, refrigerated, and of course boxed foods, as well as things that they need for every day at their households.
This stuff doesn't happen by accident. You have to put work in. And when you put the work in of this community, the work in of the developer, the business, the nonprofit, the council lady, all this happens. And then to thank the state for all the resources they provided for this. All this takes coordination, collaboration, and work. And so I'm happy for you, council lady. I'm happy for the Bel Air community, because this is, as you mentioned, the first retail development in some time in this area, but it's only the beginning as you lead this award, and we can move ahead and redevelop the entire award. So thank you very much.
Not only is the Dollar Tree providing discount goods for sale in the community, but it's also bringing some much-needed jobs as well. The Cleveland Division of Water came to the Campus International School to help the students understand and appreciate the value of our most precious resource, water. This event was part of a national campaign called Imagine a Day Without Water.
We're doing a number of things with their program today. They've watched a video about bottled water versus tap water. We want to emphasize the value of good tap water, and we're going to engage with them. We're going to go in there and have a discussion with them and try and raise some consciousness and awareness about drinking water.
Jason Wood, who is Cleveland's Chief of Public Affairs for the Department of Public Utilities, reminded the students of the one major benefit for living in Cleveland.
We are incredibly fortunate and incredibly blessed to be on Lake Erie. We have a huge supply of drinking water at our disposal. So we need to make sure that we do everything to protect that, but also leverage it from an economic value.
The students made infographics illustrating the importance of tap water over bottled. Student David Barrios' illustration was chosen as the best. Student Jenna Lusk read an essay she wrote emphasizing the value of water.
For billions of years, something took up the mass of the earth alongside with the dry patches of dirt. There were opposites, land dry and dusty, while the rest of the earth was wet and pure. Water was her name. Land and water worked side by side to give animals and plants a place to live. Though water lived in and between land, they were still separated. No, land and water mixed. When the gods above created man and woman, land became more favored. The land was used for planting, house building, and a surface for humans to live on, but water was overlooked.
The message today was clear. Always choose fresh Cleveland tap water over bottled. You'll be glad you did.
Cleveland Water is the 9th largest water system in the nation. We're very proud of the work that we do. We deliver tremendous quality water to all of the residents, the 1.4 million folks who depend on us for good drinking water.
The Moms First program was first established in 1991 as the City of Cleveland's Healthy Family, Healthy Start program, which aims to help get pregnant women prenatal care and reduce the number of infant mortality. We went to the Lexington Bell Community Center to learn more about the program.
What the Moms First program does is recruit moms at conception. So we try to take them through conception through 2 years old. So we follow them through 2 home visits per month, 1 phone call. We look at the resources they need. Our goal is a healthy birth outcome. So we work with them doing the get necessary resources, making sure they do their appointments, making their appointments. We offer other kind of services to de-stress them on what is happening. So that's part of what we do, and we are home visitation. So we don't meet them at the center, we go to where they are. So we work within their homes and looking at them and looking at where they're at.
Luann tells us how they try to help prevent infant mortality.
What we have found, it is not necessarily the pregnant participant who's talking, it's the grandparents and people who on the belly. So we have to go in there and make sure and talk to the other people in their homes and say, no, it's back to sleep. You know, they're from the old school of thought that they got to be on their belly. So, you know, you have to come in there and you have to not just sell it to the people, to your client, but you got to make sure the people that's around them understand it.
We spoke to new mothers about their experience with Moms First.
I learned about more resources for you and your baby, so you won't have to buy as much stuff and stuff like that. It's really helpful because they let you know everything that's going on so you can get help if you don't have help.
They help with a lot of resources and give you a lot of information on how to take care of your baby and how to get involved with the community to get help with stuff. Like if you're less fortunate, they'll help you with a lot of resource programs.
Fathers are also encouraged to join the program as well.
We always involve the fathers in the project, even because fathers are important. So we talk to them about, and we try to collaborate and coordinate with other father programs that connect with them. So we talk to the fathers and explain that they're an important voice in this, that we need to talk to you and you need to know what's going on so you can be a viable person in their lives. And most fathers are, they just don't know how. We have to give them the avenues and teach them with other fathers who are going through the same things. So we try to connect them with a support group that would help them.
For more information on Moms First, call 216-664-4194 or visit momsfirst.org. We'll be right back with more TV20 News.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up? Oh, we finally bought a place. Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, by the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on... Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to TV20 News. A well-known Cleveland chef lent out his restaurant for a fundraiser to help people in Puerto Rico. TV20's Enrique Correa was there and has more on the People for Puerto Rico benefit.
Leah, we're here at CODA in Tremont, where people are gathered to help the people in Puerto Rico that are suffering because of Hurricane Maria. Salsa music and great food is an awesome way to bring people together so they can experience Puerto Rican culture and raise funds to help people on the island. Chef Dante Bacuzzi provided his restaurant and music venue for this benefit.
For me, it's an easy thing to do. And if I could do anything to help and make a difference, I'm going to certainly try. I mean, I'm taken care of. I have no problems here in town. Why not help people in need?
The well-known chef was not doing the cooking that night. He let Carmen Greyer borrow his kitchen to make the authentic Hispanic dishes. Greyer has family in Puerto Rico, and she wanted to help them the only way she knows how, by cooking for the cause.
I'm devastated because my brother and sister and my nephews and nieces live there and they have lost everything, everything. So I want to help some way, and this is the only way I could help.
The benefit not only gave people the chance to enjoy great food and music, but to come together to help others in need.
We're being very positive about this event, you know, bringing together community from all different cultures, being white, Caucasian, Hispanic, Latino, and bringing some good Latin food, the Puerto Rican food. You know, you got your cabeche, pernil, arroz con gandules. So that's what's awesome, to see that right here in Cleveland, Ohio, in Tremont.
Money raised from the People for Puerto Rico benefit will go toward the David Maldonado Foundation, which is helping people on the island, but more has to be done.
We shipped over 8 containers just this month alone. We've got another 6 or 8 containers that we're planning to ship. We're working with a plan to bring fresh water in, bring in communications to help alleviate some of the ability that people don't have to talk to their loved ones at home.
Hopefully this benefit and others like it will help the people in Puerto Rico that are suffering so they can get their lives back to normal. In Tremont, I'm Enrique Correa, TV20. We are Cleveland.
If you would like to donate to the David Maldonado Fund that is helping people in Puerto Rico, you can go to the davidmaldonadofoundation.org. And at the IX Center, thousands of pounds of supplies donated by Northeast Ohio residents have gone to their way to Puerto Rico to help people still recovering from the deadly hurricane. Enrique Correa has more on how a nonprofit organization stepped up to help the relief effort. Northeast Ohio's Real Live one-woman band Diana Chittister performed at the City Hall Rotunda as part of Mayor Frank Jackson's Art in Everything initiative. We sat down with Diana to learn more about the talented musician.
So Cleveland is a city that I choose to call home now. I moved here about 10 years ago. I'm from Pittsburgh originally, but I was in pursuit of a music career. And so I came here because of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That was my lure, but once I arrived here, the music community, they were just very embracing. So I was fortunate to stumble across a lot of great players that kind of took me under wing and got me acquainted with the neighborhood and kind of showed me the ropes on how you work as a full-time musician in Cleveland, Ohio. I've been working with a project called Stop the Hate. And this has me in a couple of the schools in the Cleveland area. And what we do is we tour the Maltz Museum, which is a Holocaust museum, and we take the kids through. It's kids ranging from 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and then we have high school kids as well. And we go through and it's pretty impactful to see the hate over time, you know, what happened during the Holocaust. But more so, we really talked about the fact that it didn't go away with World War II. You know, we still have a lot of racism, we still have a lot of segregation. You know, we disguise it differently now, but it's still there. And so what the kids do is that we work together to write a song. And in the song we talk about how we will stop hate in present day. And I think it's such a wonderful vehicle. I think what's overlooked with songwriting is that a lot of art is about taking emotions that you feel or things that you witness as an individual and relating them, not just conveying ideas, but relating emotions to the greater. And I know in my work as a songwriter, there have been a lot of times where I sing about something on stage and talk about it, and I have people come up afterwards and tell me that they too went through that experience, or that they felt I was speaking directly to them. And I think that's the biggest thing the kids are taking away with this project, is that they're learning how to relate to other people, and especially through song.
Seafood, beer, and sweet tunes were a great combination at a new festival held in the East Bank of the Flats.
If you're not drinking.
The band Madison Crawl entertained the oyster-loving crowd at the festival on the Flats. People slurped on oysters at the Scene magazine and Alley Cat's Shuck Yeah Oyster Festival on Saturday, October 21st. The foodie event had oysters brought in from all across the country and had the cooks shucking away in the kitchen. Besides the oysters, there was yummy food bites from a few of Zach Bruel's restaurants here in Cleveland. It was a beautiful day on the Flats, and everyone seemed to have a yummy good time. Children in the city of Cleveland had a safe alternative to trick-or-treating on Halloween. We went to the Michael Zone Recreation Center and spoke to the Division of Recreation's regional manager, Jennifer Ribka, about the spooktacular event.
Every year at all of our 21 recreation centers across the city, we provide an evening for our kids in our community to come in from 5:30 to 7:30, participate in our Big Boo activities. We have fun and games, carnival games, some haunted houses, some music, face painting, the whole gamut. We try to have a great time with all of our kids and our families that come in our doors. We wanted a safe alternative to the kids out on the street trick-or-treating. It gets dark out really quickly this time of year. If the kids' parents are working or what have you, the kids can come in 8 and up without a parent and participate in all of our activities, get some candy, get some food, and have a great night without having to worry about being out on the streets trick-or-treating.
To learn more about the many activities offered by the City of Cleveland's Division of Recreation, visit city.cleveland.oh.us. Thanks for watching TV20 News. We are Cleveland. I'm Leah Haslage. Up next, we'll have Christian Patterson with the Inside Sports Report.